Hi, this is John Harcher, and welcome to episode 23 of Valleys of Numenor. Apple Plus's adaptation of Foundation went way off script last episode. Let's see if it can get back on track this time around. Foundation episode 3, The Mathematician's Ghost. The recap shows the kids from the first episode going up to the vault saying they want to see the ghost. So now we know who they wanted to see. We just need to find out the why. The first scene takes us back 400 years with Cleon I, who looks suspiciously like Brother Dusk, and Demerzel watching the building of the Star Bridge. He realizes he's dying and won't get to see any of the things he set in motion. She tells him he's going to be able to do that after all. We jump ahead 400 years to almost 20 years after the terrorist attack, and old Brother Dusk, who looks suspiciously like the Emperor, watches the rebuilding and contemplates his last day. He gets dressed in a new outfit, where we get to see the Emperor's saggy butt. Thanks, Foundation. The suit needs to be retailored since he's not as big as he used to be. Dusk is looking over the rebellious planets of Anacreon and Thespis when brothers Dawn and Day enter, but Day looks like Dusk and Dawn looks like Day. Clones are like that, I guess. Dusk wants to salvage the Star Bridge so something of the original's legacy will last. He then walks through a hall of all the Emperor's clones and the different avocations they pursued. As we saw in the earlier episode, this Dusk is to be known as the Painter. For his last gift from his quote-unquote brothers, he thinks he's getting a great meal, but instead they take him up to the remains of the Star Bridge where his hologram is still offering the Emperor's peace. They then destroy it, hopefully to be taken place by a new one someday. That night, Dusk hears a lullaby being sung in the dark. He goes down to the lab to find Demerzel singing to the new clone Brother Dawn waiting to be born. They made a rule at some point that the oldest clone couldn't watch the youngest being born, but he doesn't care. He wanders back upstairs to keep working on the mural he never finished but falls asleep. Demerzel brings him upstairs and laments that even though the Emperor is always there, he still manages to leave her. The next morning, they have the renaming ceremony where the now brother Dusk must take his leave. But the new brother Dawn starts crying. Dusk thinks something is wrong, but Demerzel keeps him moving like, Edward G. Robinson in Soylent Green. Just keep him going down the hall. Only he doesn't get turned into crackers. He just goes poof. The new baby is then adorned with the ashes of his predecessor. Yuck. We jump to 17 years later, and the old mural is getting erased on orders of the new brother Dawn. Oh well, teenagers. We then see the Foundation ship beginning its colonization of Terminus. Harry had predicted their whole process, when it would happen, where it would happen, and all those things. But the one thing that people didn't predict was finding something already there. Yep, like the vault. It's already there, and the away team is the first to fall to its sonic protection. They take the old ship and turn it into the things they need to survive, like housing and all that. Think of it like a sideways Flight of the Phoenix type of thing. Outside, a young Salvor Hardin is enthralled by the sight of the vault. The story then jumps ahead to now, whenever now is. Salvor tries to approach the vault by seeing how a little bird/bat thing reacts to it. The closer they get, the more sedate it becomes, so she lets it go. She's fixing a force field fence when her dad shows up. She tells him she thinks something is wrong with the vault's protective field. So he tells her to tell her mother, who's the head of the Foundation, people, I guess. When they get there, she tells her the field is getting bigger, but it's also revealed that the field doesn't have an effect on Salvor, so she can go in and out as far as she wants. Later, the kids are thrilled when Hugo arrives. Wait, who's Hugo? He comes down in a ship like he's, Prince of Space or Space Chief. I joke, but the ship does look like the one in Invasion of the Neptune Men almost exactly. Apparently, he's a traitor of some kind. He ends up at Salvor's place, and it looks like we're going to get another Lifetime movie moment, but no. They go out and look at the planets through a telescope in the daytime. Pretty good scope there. He wants her to leave, but she says she can't. And then we get our Lifetime movie moment. Or is it more of a Skinemax moment? So after they're done, she gets restless and heads out towards the vault. She spots a kid running around out after curfew. She chases him into one of the ship remnants. The kid then finds out why you don't go out after curfew, when he becomes a meal for a bishop's claw, which is a big monster. As the creature runs out, Salvor spots a ship in the sky. Hugo confirms it's an Anacreon vessel, and very soon there are 3 of them. The Foundation heads meet to figure out what to do. Louis Perrine kind of blows it off, thinking they just call the Empire to fix it. But Salvor goes to the armory to see exactly what a bunch of encyclopedias have for weapons. They don't have much, but Salvor's mom, Mara, has something big. Selden's prime device. Problem is, no one can understand it. Hardin tries, but can't really get anywhere. It turns out they can't reach the Empire. The comm device is down. The next night out on patrol, Salvor sees the same kid running into the same place again. But this time the bishop's claw has been shot with arrows, which means someone is there who knows how to use them, like Anacreons. So they're trying to create a sense of mystery here. How is it the vault was already there? Will the 2 renegade planets cause the fall of the Empire? They spend a lot of time on the intricacies of the cloning of the Emperor, which, semi-spoiler, does kind of pay off at the end of the season. I'm wondering if this all may have been helped by shorter seasons. I remember reading that Goyer thinks they can get 8 seasons out of this. There's enough material, but you actually have to get to it. Say, didn't somebody get killed last episode? They do deal with some of the repercussions of that, but this is the problem with hopping around the timeline. You need to be very careful. If you kill off a main character, for now, you have to deal with that sooner or later. Apparently, they thought they could skip a whole episode. It leaves the viewer more than a little confused. Next time Rome had to deal with the Huns and the Visigoths, Trantor has Anacreon and Thespis. What will be their role in the downfall? We'll see a little of that next time. Please hit the subscribe button if you like what you're hearing. I'm John Harchard. Thanks for listening.